What is happening, guys? Today we're going to be adding the first little bit of carbon to the Subaru. Yes, as you can see, this car doesn't this car doesn't have any carbon. I'm too broke for that stuff, but that changes today. Also, a huge shout out to Envisions Auto. They're the shop here in town that I go to for most of my stuff. But yeah, we finally get to install these, and I'm super excited to see how this turns out. So let's go show you what we're doing today. You already know the APR GT3 carbon fiber mirrors. I've been wanting something like this for a long time, actually. I've always wanted to go with an aftermarket set of mirrors. The OEM mirrors on these cars, I think they fit the car well. I think it looks really good. However, especially when the car is stock body, I think the mirrors at times, in my opinion, can look a little big. So, meaning they stick out a little far. And I think if I add a smaller mirror, a mirror that doesn't take up so much room, having that smaller design will in fact make the body and the wheels of the car, I guess, perhaps look a little bit wider. And so that's kind of the effect I'm going for, at least. Also, I mean, who can say no to carbon fiber? Future, I do want to continue adding more carbon to this car. There's a couple areas on it that I want to add some bits and pieces, but that'll come over time. Let me throw this up on the tripod so I can kind of open these up and show you what we're dealing with. So, one thing I actually wanted to note too is after I had received these mirrors, I actually ended up taking them over to a detail shop in town, Posh Detailing, and I had them wrap these mirrors in an Expel Ultimate film. For those that don't know, I actually had the whole car detailed by them a couple years ago, and I had them wrap the entire front clip and rockers and mirrors, etc. in the same Expel Ultimate film. So I figured if I'm installing new mirrors, last thing I want to do is throw these on the car and have them get all chipped up and stuff. So I wanted to make sure before they even go on that I got them protected, and very happy that I did so. So I don't know if you can really tell on camera probably, but they look super glossy. I find when you add this film on top, it always gives it that extra little bit of gloss, which looks really sharp. As you can see also, the mirrors, they have that slightly blue reflection, blue tint on the mirror. So hopefully that'll help a little bit as far as glare, I think. I think they're gonna look really sleek. I'm hoping that they make the whole body of the car look even a little bit wider. Just the size comparison, going from that OEM mirror to this one, it's such a big difference. I think it kind of just plays with your eyes a little bit. So I'm really excited to see how these turn out. If you don't know, or if you haven't seen my last video, I believe it's my last video, I actually posted, I did a full sound deaden on the Subaru. So I actually sound deadened the entire car. Floor, roof, trunk, doors, everything. And go watch that video if you want to see how that turned out. Very impressed actually with the overall results. Unfortunately, to install these, I actually have to end up taking the door cards off again. So that's fun. I didn't enjoy ripping out the interior enough last time. I thought I would do it again. But luckily it takes all of a few minutes. I'm getting pretty good. I'm not going to go into detail on how to remove the door cards, but I will have a link in the description below. Get these door cards popped out and get the show on the road, shall we? So for this, you will just need a Phillips, or one of these. I don't know, whatever you prefer. And maybe a little flathead, maybe a mini flathead. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need, I think. Let's rip this thing off. So, for the mirrors, as you can see, let me brighten this up a little bit. We got this one clip, that's for the power mirrors. Unfortunately, these mirrors do not have power. That is the one downside on switching to them, but really not the end of the world. The only time I really used these mirrors was if I ever had to like parallel park. I would just drop the mirror down just because the last thing I want to do is curb my wheels. But now I'm just going to be extra safe and not get close to curbs, because that is not a risk I'm going to take. But anyways, all you have to do is unclip this clip, if I can, with one hand. I don't know. I'll do that after. And then I think it is just the 4 Phillips screws You see there's one kind of here on the outside, and then you got one right here, one right there, and the last one is inside this little groove. I don't know if you can kind of see that. Keep in mind, be really careful taking these off. If that screw falls off the tip, that thing is falling down inside your door, and then you're gonna have to try and get that out somehow. Otherwise, you're gonna have a rattly screw in there. So nice and slow. There's only 4 screws, so take your time, and then that mirror should pop right off. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. That is so scary. This is like playing Operation. You remember that game, Operation? That's exactly what it's like. Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, this mirror should just come right off. Oh, almost forgot. Clip. Can't forget the clip. Here it is. Voila! There's one stock mirror. So all I'm doing now is just looking over the instructions. Got my new mounting bracket. Cool thing about these, actually, for some reason, I thought this was gonna be plastic, like the OEM one, but it's actually metal. So nice quality for sure. All I'm doing right now is, like I said, I'm just reviewing the instructions just to figure out how I mount all the hardware. It also mentions that you need to remove the factory gasket here. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's like this little foam gasket, so I'm just carefully peeling it off the back side of this just so I don't rip it up. And I'm gonna take this off and throw it in the new metal mounting plates. There you go, just like that. Your little crappy piece of foam. But yeah, something like that, I guess. Can you see that? There you go, just like that. I think I went a little bit further than I was supposed to. Look how good that looks. It'll obviously look better once I can kind of get it outside, but damn. Nice and adjustable too, you know? It's got a nice clean swivel. OEM or carbon. Pretty slick. And don't worry, for everyone that wants to see how I did that, for myself, I wanted to figure out the hardware first and how to properly install it. For a second there, it was a little confusing, but it makes total sense now. Super easy. So I'll show you exactly how to install the hardware on that side. Here we are, same spot I left off on the last one. If you look at the back of the APR plate, you'll see in the bottom corner here, there's like a black jam nut. So what we have to do is we have to remove that. So from APR, they send these with this jam nut in here. I don't know if you can see that. So with the, I think it's the 5mm hex, we got two, this is provided in the kit. We want to remove that jam nut that was included in the APR plates. So as you can see, here is the factory jam nut. So you can kind of see it's silver on the side and then black. That's how you can recognize, I guess, the differences between the one that was included in the APR plate, and then as well, the kit comes with one that looks just like this, but in silver. It's all shiny and silver. You want to grab this little, whatchamacallit, ball joint stud. As you can see, you want to drop it in there, and then you just want to pull it through. So I don't know if you can see that or not. So you want the threaded end sticking on the outside of the APR plate. So then, after you put that in, you want to grab the locking washer that was provided in the kit, drop it in the hole so it kind of sits over top of the ball that we just put in. So we're gonna drop it in the hole. Is this jam nut that we removed just a second ago. You want to put that down next. So we want to tighten that on top of the washer. And then with the 5mm hex, we're going to tighten that back down on top of the washer, just until it's snug. So we got that nice and snug. Now you can see this is pretty tight. It doesn't really want to move, but that's okay. This is that shiny one. So it looks the exact same as the jam nut that we just put in, called the locking stud. And so this locking stud with the hex side up, we want to drop in over top of that last jam nut that we just put in. And then we want to tighten that all the way down. The manual that they provide is okay. It doesn't go into detail too much, but once you get it figured out, it is super, super easy. And that's it. And now we have this arm that swivels. On the J-arm that they provide, you'll see the little screw at the top. We'll need to remove that. So you have 2 hexes in this kit. There's a bigger one. This is the smaller one. That's the one you use for that top screw. So we're gonna remove that. And then we're gonna feed the top of that J-arm where we just removed the screw. So this is gonna go into the bottom of the mirror until it pushes up to the top. Just kind of gently wiggling it through. I don't know if that camera will actually pick it up or not, but you can maybe just see it on the inside there. Provide these 2 of these little black plastic pieces. And what we're gonna do is just feed the top of the screw into that. You're just gonna screw it back on, connecting the J-arm. That just takes the pressure off from the screw, scratching up the top of your carbon, just like so. If that makes sense. And then what we do, we're literally just going to thread it onto the bottom of the J-arm. Slowly get that started. And then once you get it all the way screwed on as far as you can go, the ball joint stud will obviously spin. So once you get it tight, what you can do is with an 8mm, you can get onto the end of the that ball joint stud, and then you can just use that to stop it from spinning, just like so, and get her all snugged up. You got your mirror installed. Pretty easy install. Once you get it figured out, it's really, really simple. So I'm gonna get this thrown in the car, and then we'll show you the final look. Install complete. Door cards all back in. Honestly, I'm digging them, man. What is happening, guys? So, it dawned on me as I was finally getting around to editing my APR mirror install video. This is Brody from the future. This is like, I think 2 months? 2 months? Yeah. I think it was 2 months ago when I installed these. So I'm finally getting around to editing this video, which is fantastic. And yeah, I just figured I probably wanted to wrap things up. The day that I did end up installing these mirrors, I actually did go for a drive after, and I did do a bit of a review to close out the video. However, what I found was that in rewatching the footage that I originally filmed, I found, if anything, maybe I was a little too harsh in my review. Not that I was saying anything bad about them. I just feel like maybe my review could have been better. I think, in a way, my procrastination may have worked out because I guess now, if anything, you have my 2-month experience with this review. So yeah, I'm going to count that as a win. Back when I did do my original review, I don't think I had the mirrors quite adjusted as well as they could have been. So obviously the following day, fixed the mirrors, got them adjusted properly, and since then they've been absolutely perfect. I think the best way I could compare things, has the viewing angle, the field of view, has it decreased since switching from OEM? I mean, yeah, probably. But that being said, the slight decrease that I have experienced has not bugged me whatsoever. If you guys really like these mirrors and you're worrying about maybe switching, maybe it's a safety thing or whatever it could be, I wouldn't let that change your mind. I haven't had any issues whatsoever with these mirrors, so as far as field of view, they work as good as they need to. I'll say it that way. And obviously, yeah, 2 months later, still absolutely loving these mirrors. Very happy with my decision to change them. I personally think they fit the car really well, so I'm happy I went with it. I forget if I mentioned this earlier in the video. I think I did actually when I was installing them. But I'd say my biggest complaint, and I think this says a lot, is probably the fact that they don't have electric motors. Like, is that a big deal? No, not really. The only time I would essentially use the motors on the OEM mirrors was when I was like parallel parking, and that was just so I could simply tilt the mirror down and make sure that my wheels weren't coming close to the curb. It was just like a nice, I guess, added security whenever you were parallel parking. But now, obviously, since the motors are gone, I don't have the luxury of doing that, so now you just gotta take your time and be a little more, I guess, careful to ensure that you're not gonna hit the curb. But yeah, so I'd say that's probably the biggest drawback, and even then, it really hasn't been a drawback. Overall, super, super happy with the addition to the Sub. So far my experience with them have been really good. But on that note, if you guys have any other questions, any other concerns, definitely don't hesitate to, hit me up in the comments below. I do have a few other videos that I've been procrastinating on as well, so I'm going to try and get those edited up pretty quickly here. But yeah, so if you guys like the video, definitely appreciate the big old thumbs up. It always means a lot. And yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed yet to the channel, maybe you should consider doing so. I think that was everything. I hope you guys all have a great day, and we'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy.